Hello. It's nice to see that I'm late again. If you can hear me, do you want to send me a love heart? I'd just like to say that so you'll send me love hearts for no other reason than that, to be honest. Olivia, hello. Nanny for the girls, hello. No volume, no live. What do you mean? Am I there? Yeah, I'm there. I can hear myself. Jane, hello. Nanny for the girls, hello. Olivia, hello. We're here. Yay. Bit of a panic after last time. I always panic when I go live. I don't know why. There's those first couple of minutes, I think, when I first go live. I panic that I haven't done it correct, even though I'm sort of know what I'm doing now. I panic that there's going to be no one there and I'm going to be talking to myself. And I just have like this 60 seconds of panic. But all is good because we've got people, which is fabulous. Beth, hello. Clarice, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Nice to know that I definitely not on my own. Let me move my phone. Let's move that somewhere so you don't have to listen to that going off. Hello. Sue, hi. Diane, hello. Beth, did I say hi? But I'll say hi again anyway. Deb, hello. From Ohio. I'm sorry, I just sort of read it how you wrote it. I love that. There's going to be no singing now. No singing from me. Not until I'm big enough that I hire Ben to come and do, the presenting from me, and then we might do more singing. But for now, no singing. Erica, hello. It's lovely to have you here. I think you're new, Erica. I don't think I've seen your name before. And if you have been here before and I've missed it, apologies. I just received some of the gorgeous papers. Yes, we'll save this demo. So these gorgeous papers, or was it a different collection, Clarice? These papers are stunning. So I'm here for Ciao Bella tonight because obviously I'm on Ciao Bella's page. And what we will do for, yes, these. Oh, so are you as in love as I am? Because these are out of this world. They really are. So yes, so here for Ciao Bella tonight. So what we will do first is we'll have a bit of a look through everything that you can get in this collection. So this is the Paris Je t'aime. In fact, we'll just go through as I've got them on my pile. As you can see here, firstly, I have got rice papers. I have got the most amazing rice papers because what you're getting with this collection is you're getting the sort of A4 ones. Oh my God, I'm going to hate cutting to them. Yes. Oh, I know. I did struggle a little bit today, but I did get there in the end, I've got to admit. So you do have the A3 ones as well, which is amazing. You can see that they don't even fit on there, but this is huge. So if you are doing really big mixed media type of projects, this is going to be wonderful. Having troubles with YouTube on my end, may not be able to watch right now. I always tend to come out of it, shut it all down, and then go back in. And then if I'm still struggling, I normally just watch on repeat. I think there's just there's lots of that going on at the minute, isn't there? There's power cuts, there's issues with Facebook, with YouTube, Instagram. Can you remember what we did before all this? Could you imagine if it all went? What would we do? But anyway, so these are A3. I'll turn them back that way so you can see you have got this is the most gorgeous newspaper print on here. Absolutely amazing. So if you've just got something huge you just want to cover, that is absolutely perfect for that. So you've got that one, and then you've got this. I will turn this round because you want to see that. I love the fact that you've got these huge A3 pieces. Laura, hello. Thank you for joining us. So the music on there, so you've got that music score, you've got the roses, you've got those red petals. And then this one as well. They are absolutely gorgeous and huge. It's a little bit warm here, so hence why I keep sticking to this. Let me move it. And then I'll bring in the A4 ones. So you've got these A4 ones. Look at that. You're going to pop that on a canvas and do nothing else with it. It is stunning. It's the multi-layers on there. You've got the image, and then in your background, you've got script. And then even further back, you've got this lovely sort of, you've got the staining and the smoky effect. You've got the crackle effect. So if you've got your crackle paste and you love to use that, you wouldn't even need to use it because you've got crackle all over there anyway. This is, again, just another beautiful, beautiful piece. And these are all my rice papers still. So you've got, again, those toppers. Just because it's rice paper, don't feel that you have to go mixed media with it. I think I said last time. In fact, I'll tell you now before I forget. I was talking to Helen earlier, and she was asking me which Mod Podge that she should be using for something. So I did say, this is next week, I'll do a tutorial over on my page, and that'll be with some rice papers, just going through the basics and what you can put them on, and we'll create a little project with them. So hopefully that will help take that bit of fear away, I think. The black, white, and red, Diane, I absolutely love it. It's just stunning. It's elegant, it's classic, it's timeless, it's romantic. It's Ben and I's anniversary on Sunday, the 11th is this Sunday, isn't it? This would be beautiful to make an anniversary card, not just for him. I might challenge him to make me one, actually. But for me to make him, because there's lots of images on there that do not just scream, it's just for a woman. Look at that one. Oh, it's just beautiful. So it is one of their Christmas collections, sort of. You've got that snow on there, you've got the red robin, but you could definitely use it for Christmas, and you could definitely use it all year round. So on this one, you've sort of got snuggle season is in full swing. So sort of hinting at sort of the winter months. You're the fire that keeps me warm in the coldest of winters. So you've got lots of those sentiments on there, but not using those just means, look at that one. Perfect if I wanted to make Ben an anniversary card. Absolutely perfect. Again, toppers. So that's what reminded me that I was going to do a tutorial next week on rice papers. Because what you can do is you can cut these out. You can, if you've got some, you do get a Mod Podge that's paper to paper. In fact, I think I got it out earlier because I was talking about it. This one. See, it says paper, papel, papier. So this is a paper-to-paper one, and it tells you on the back here, used for paper on paper projects. So this one is absolutely perfect for that. You can be popping it onto your card making some beautiful textured card toppers. So don't think that it's just for your sort of mixed media and your 3D, your jewellery boxes, your pottery, anything like that. Perfect for that, but also you can still use it with the right glue onto your paper. Go on, Ben, make Michelle a card. Shall we challenge him, see what he comes up with? But look at this one. So you're going to get lots of this running through the paper pads as well. I'll speed up just a little. But I love the clock face. I love the Je t'aime and the Paris, the Amore, Paris love, that repeating sentiments on there. I always love it when you've got a lovely little stamp on there. And again, those beautiful balloons. But that red is absolutely... Helen, hello. We were just talking about you, Helen. We're talking about the tutorial I said I was going to do next week with rice papers. Look at this. Do you know what I love more about rice papers? When you've got things like this and you're not brilliant at fussy cutting, because you can just tear these out, or if you've got just a wet brush and you just sort of use the wet brush around the edges and you can just sort of pop it out. I've just seen Helen's message. It makes that fussy cutting even easier. What you said about me. Just talking about the tutorial and the Mod Podges that we were sort of discussing earlier. Said I'd do a little tutorial next week on rice papers. So perfect example, you've got your wet brush, you're just going to go around the edges of here and that as well. You're going to pop that image out, but all these extra bits you're not going to get rid of. You're definitely going to use them to sort of as filling in bits. Again, how many and how beautiful. I always love the postcard. Again, I think it adds to that timeless classic. And I think Paris is that, isn't it? Sort of classic and timeless and romantic and it's just so here. I love the snow when it falls suddenly. So definitely the the nod towards they're from the other collection. Sort of Christmas, but not full on Christmas that you couldn't use it at any other time. Fabulous. I ordered the paper one. That's literally the one we were just talking about. So again, what you will always get is you get your 12 by 12 paper pad. You're going to get your 12 by 12 patterns pad. No repeating images in these. They're absolutely totally different. You've got that vellum, which is the A4. You've got, wait until I show you this. You've got, it's the silver one. It's the silver sheets in this one. And again, you've got that A4. There's 5 in there. Your creative pad, again in A4. Then you've got your 8 by 8 paper pad, and then we're down to our 6 by 6s. So you've got those silver sheets again, you've got your vellum, and then you've got your fussy cut pad. I love the fussy cut pad because if you're not a fan of fussy cutting, it's just a beautiful paper pad. So you've got all those fussy cut elements in there. When you turn it over, you've got the beautiful paper. So it's just a 6 by 6 paper pad if you sort of really want to go down that route with it. Oh, I like the blue. Oh, I'll show you that in a second. The blue one is absolutely gorgeous. And again, on the back, you've got lots of different images, lots of, look at that, just that one on its own. I absolutely adore it. And again, obviously on the back, you've got all those beautiful patterns. So the blue one is their other collection. So last week or the week before, I did the Nutcracker. This week, I'm going to do like this, but I'll quickly bring it in. We won't go through it, but I'll give you a bit of it's the Elegance blue, or Elegance of Blue, and it's absolutely stunning. It really is. I will be using this next time on my next live with Ciao Bella. So just pop them away. Or throw them on the floor. That works equally well. So let's go through these. So these are 6 by 6 in that. I mean, I don't need to do anything. Look at it playing havoc with the lighting. But how beautiful. And you can sort of, can you hear the texture on it? I think I might need the blue. I agree, Helen. I think you might need the blue, definitely. I love this particular piece in here. It's just got all those lovely cuttable sentiments on there. Absolutely perfect. There we go. First love, I love you. A long cold, and then winter begins to bloom. Memories, lots and lots on there. Some more little toppers in there. I love this. That backing sheet is just absolutely gorgeous. And then back to the beginning. So let me see if I can pop these back in here. I don't like wasting time putting everything back in their packages. I just like to do the exciting bit, which is look at the papers. So far, everything is absolutely just beautiful. There we go. So this is your 6 sheets in your vellum. And you've got that red is just the most beautiful red I think I've ever seen. Where can we purchase all these gorgeous items? So it depends where you are. If you're in the UK or the US, the best thing for you to do is just Google Ciao Bella papers, and then if you know which collection you want, then put that afterwards. Over here, I think, is it Friday tomorrow? I think this is launching on Create and Craft tomorrow. I I know that it also comes to Hobby Maker at alternating time. So this will come to Create and Craft tomorrow. And then on Hobby Maker, it'll be one of the others, and then it sort of alternates. But then all the stores get them as well. It's always just easiest to just Google it, and then all the shops will come up. So I know that doesn't really help narrow it down for you, but there's just so many different shops that do stock them, and some will stock this particular paper, but not one of the other releases. And then a different shop will stock the other releases, but not this one, and vice versa. How lovely. And then again, that lovely background one. So let's pop this away. So yeah, definitely. Tomorrow on Creative Craft, I'm pretty sure one of the shows at 7:00 in the morning. I don't think I'll be catching that one. But they're with the lovely Nikki. So she's going to be bringing these to you tomorrow, this particular collection. So this is your 8x8 paper pad. And I'll flick through it just a little bit quicker. Hi, Michelle. Hi, guys. Are you at work? Are you on your way to work? I love this one. I love an 8x8 because sometimes all you need to do is just mat and layer it onto a card, put a sentiment on, and you don't need to do anything else with it. But the backs are as beautiful as the front, and I love this. It's not something you see very much in a paper pad, just the scrunched up paper, and then almost like it's been taken. I got up early, especially for you. Thank you. I very much appreciate that, Gaz. Yeah, and then almost like it's just, sorry, do get distracted, don't I? Scrunched up piece of paper, laid out and photographed. I think it really, really works well with this collection. Would love a rice paper life. Perfect. I'm going to plan that for next week. And I'll bring in a few different mediums as well. So maybe I've got a canvas, I've got some coasters that are wooden. I think I've got some pottery here, and I'll show you how they go on all of the different things, as well as just onto your card making. So maybe it'll be more technique-y on lots of different things rather than full finished projects. Apparently I say it wrong. I've made some stuff recently using your papers. Cutting into them gave me palpitations. Cutting into a beautiful paper pad has got to be the most traumatic thing as a crafter we will ever go through. Definitely. So again, that scrunched up newspaper, the beautiful red, all that Parisian imagery running through it. I love this one. Again, it's just beautiful. Pop that on a card. Fussy cut or die cut one of the beautiful elements out, pop it on top, and you really don't need to do much else to it. I must show you this deluxe pad before I go any further, though. Because this is just, I don't need to move it at all, do I, for you to see how stunning that is. It's just beautiful. So the top. So let's get this out. Look at that. You wouldn't want to. I see. I'm definitely a crafter, so I definitely would look at that. And I was like, "There's no way I am cutting into that. That would, for me, go into a frame or on the front of a canvas." What's the name of the blue one? What did I say it was called? Bear with me. Does it say it on there? It says it on the paper pad, doesn't it? The blue one is Elegance of Blue. We'll have a quick look through that when I'm done. When I've done with these, I'll let you have a quick look through that one. It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? So those roses, that beautiful robin. The robin hints at the Christmas, doesn't it? With obviously sat on those berries. But then this particular piece doesn't. So I think you're getting the best of both worlds with this collection. When I lift that, look at the shine and the sheen. You're very welcome, Linda. Aloha, all. I love all that red. Rachel, hello. Isn't it stunning? Isn't it absolutely stunning? I don't know how they narrow it down when they create these, because I know myself from doing my own papers. Narrowing it down to the ones that you're going to release is sometimes nigh on impossible. But it has to be done, but especially in those kind of papers. Can you imagine? Let's see if I can get them in. So we'll go through this. Some of the pages are missing because I've been using them. But what I love about the Creative Pad is so many cuttable elements, but also so many just beautiful images on there. That will be brilliant. I love the idea of a live technique. Yeah, definitely. I get so many messages, and it's okay me explaining what to do, but sometimes it's just so much easier to see it, isn't it? So again, beautiful, just paper pad on the back, but lots and lots. Look at this one in that lovely wooden frame. Just lots of beautiful elements. So many. Love these. One day I will get a pair of them. I'm not sure that my feet would fit in a pair of those, but you know, I can just have them on my shelf and look at them because they're pretty. Just beautiful. So, look at the backs. I love this. I think this one's my particular one is my favourite. Until we come to another one. What is this? I'm sorry, Rachel. What did I miss? The name of this collection. So this is called Paris Je t'aime. And the blue one was, what did I say? Elegance of Blue. But this one is Paris Je t'aime. So again, these are your larger vellums, and they're so thick. They're a real good weight vellum. You get a clear one in. I always love the fact that you get a clear vellum in these as well, just in case you're not wanting to use the patterned one. Yeah, just in case you're refusing to cut it into any of the patterned ones. Those papers are so pretty. Thank you. They are, Gaz, aren't they? I was going to say thank you. I was going to take credit for them, but but no, not these ones. So I'm doing quite well. Every single one has gone back into its slip at the minute. Oh, let's see if we can keep going. It's when it gets stuck on that sort of sticky stuff there, and I just think, oh, never mind. This is your patterns pad, and this is absolutely my favourite. Again, you've got all that on the front that you can be using. I love that in your patterns one, you always get an alphabet in there. So it will obviously represent the particular collection it is. So this sort of font and style is perfect for this one. All 6x6s, so you've got 4 ready-made cards there. But then you see, look at the back. Look at the back. Isn't it stunning? Lots of fussy cutting elements there, or just a beautiful paper on the back. Is this your aim with your collections, to do fussy cutting pads? Vellum? Yes, I would love to definitely get to a point where I add more and more sort of papers to my collections, definitely. So that is the way that I want it to go. Look at that yes, look at that shine. Stunning, aren't they? The backs, the fronts. I think the reason I do single-sided is because then I don't have to fight with myself as to which side to cut into. Just beautiful. Oh. And then lastly, we'll show you the paper pad, and then we'll have a quick sneaky peek of the blue one. So paper pad I think you've got more images rather than sort of backgrounds on there here. So that is a perfect scrapbook piece, isn't it? Because you've got the space in the middle to be popping whatever sort of decorative elements and you notice things like that, and you're not covering up any of those side pieces. I love this one. Again, just absolutely beautiful. But let's fall in love in this place. The paper pads have absolutely fallen in love straight away as soon as I saw these. But I love this. It's a little bit grungy, isn't it? So, when I was saying about you can get away with creating men's cards from this as well, you've got that sort of grungy text there, which is very, would be perfect for Ben a card on Sunday. Definitely. And that piece as well. Love, love, love this. I love this one. I love how you've got the music running through the middle, and you've got again sort of that crackle effect through the edges. Again, that one would be perfect. I mean, I know Ben's watching. He's sat in the room watching because he like, for one, I don't think he's ever missed any of my shows, but he's there just in case something goes wrong. So Ben, if you're listening, that's the one that you can use for my card for Sunday. But look at the backs. If you don't want to use the fronts, look at the backs. Can I buy this as a full collection? Yes, it's launching tomorrow, Jane, on Create and Craft. Now, the first show is at 7:00 in the morning, I do believe. But yes, you will be able to buy it as a full collection on there. I don't know if Create and Craft delivers to the US or anything anymore. They did at some point, and I don't know whether they stopped it or not. And then the final piece of the back. But yes, so launching tomorrow, Create and Craft, this collection. It's Friday tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. So let me pop all these just to the side. Can't grab them. And then we'll have a quick look through that blue one while we're here. So this is your Elegance of Blue. So when I do my next live, not next week, it's every 2 weeks with Ciao Bella, this is the collection I'm going to be using. It's beautiful. It's such a polar opposite to the other two collections. So you have the Nutcracker, then you've got this, and then the Paris one that I've just been using. So different, which is unfortunate because you want them all, don't you? It's a shame you can't buy from retailers. And yes, yeah, I like them, but I'm not sure I'd use them. The Paris ones, yeah, even though they're beautiful, sometimes we have to remember, if I'm not going to use it, don't buy it. Don't buy it just because it's pretty. But this one, look, it's framed. There's nothing else that you need to do to it. It's just beautiful. Love this collection. I found a place in the US to buy from. Absolutely perfect. I think it's harder for me because I'm not in the US, so I don't know which stores and things like that do stock, which is why I always say if you just give it a Google, a bit of a search on there, then you should be able to find it. So I'm not sure which one I picked up. Which did I pick up? So I picked up the paper pad. You've always got those fussy cut sheets in there with a beautiful backing. I love this one. Look at this. The stockings, they've got the most beautiful pattern on them. And again, you don't need to do anything else to that. If you were creating a scrapbooking page for Christmas, then it's all there for you. You've got sort of your bits in the corners. You've got this whole middle section where you can be creating all of whatever it is that you want to create on there. I need this, but would want full collection as a bundle. I will find out. I'm not sure when it's being released or if it already has. I don't recall seeing it. I will find out. I'll message Lou when we're done I'll find out when the release dates for these are, and I'll pop them on my page so you know. Beautiful soft starlight on the back. Again, beautiful, beautiful imagery. Toppers there. Blue is the colour of truth, the magic of winter. And then again, just that beautiful wallpaper. That would look lovely all the way up my hallway. And just look. And then final one, look, is that one. So that is the elegance of blue. So I'm just gonna. I've done so well so far, so I'll pop them all back in their wrappers. There we go. Look at me keeping tidy. Right, so what we're going to do is keep doing single-sided, please. It's hard enough covering them already. I will do, don't you worry. Thanks, honey. You're very welcome. Your daughter-in-law is blooming. She looks fabulous. She does look beautiful, doesn't she? Really beautiful. She's at that, I think there's about 5 or 6 weeks left. She's at that point now where she's had enough and she just wants to have the baby. Eek, fab, thanks. I'm working, so we'll look out for it when I can. Yes, absolutely. I'll sort that out. Off to work, but we'll keep watching when I get there. Oh, thank you very much, Clarice. We'll have a lovely day at work. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start with all my... Oh, Maggie, hello, Maggie. With your own papers, will you do any background papers so I don't have to cut my best ones? I do like your single-sided though, as I always feel I'm missing out otherwise. I do. I love a single-sided paper pad because you can guarantee my favourite piece or my two favourites are going to be on the same sheet. And it's hard enough, isn't it, already? Right, so I've got all my pieces of mount board already cut. So they're 8 inches wide by 5 inches high. So that is going to be the back piece. So the TV box is going to be 8 inches wide by 5 inches high. And then I've got my 2 side pieces. And both of those are 4 by 5. So you are going to need 2 pieces of mount board, one for the front, one for the back. Both 8 inches wide by 5 inches high. Your 2 side pieces, 5 inches high by 4 inches wide. And then you're going to need, so this is going to be your bottom piece. So again, it's going to be 8 inches wide by 4 inches. And then I've got 2 top pieces, 2 top pieces for the lid. So this one is 8.5 by 5.5 because I wanted it bigger than the actual box itself. And then this is, it's nearly the same size as this bottom one. The bottom of the box is 8 by 4. This top piece is a tiny sliver smaller. So it's 8 by 4, and then I just cut a tiny sliver off both sides. So it just makes it that tiniest bit smaller. It's going to glue onto this 8.5 by 5.5 piece. And what it's going to do, it's going to create a little lip. So when I sit my lid on, it's going to sit there and it's not going to move because you've got this little lip that's going to stop it from slipping out, if that makes sense. So bottom, front, back. Imagine that it's an exploding box and I've got my 2 sides. So they're going to sit up like that, and then the back and the front. But what we're going to do on the front, we're going to create that lovely window. So let me get a piece of acetate out so I don't forget. I'll lose it. It's a piece of acetate. Elizabeth, hello. Sorry you're a bit late. No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. We don't mind at all. There's many different ways that you can wrap these. So I was saying before, this is the white Crafter's Companion. mount board that came with their jigsaws. So it's beautiful, it's white, it's clean. If you don't want to wrap your papers round these, you don't have to. So if you're making a box or anything like that, or even an album, you can just mat and layer. So let me bring in my little bits. Let me just grab one of these. I'm a little bit organised today. So you can just mat and layer your papers onto these because it's clean, it's beautiful, it's not like a grey board that you want to cover up. So what we're going to do with this collection is, rather than me putting all of these onto a bigger piece and wrapping them, that's not what we're going to do with this one. We're going to do something just that little bit different. And again, so there's going to be a couple of different ways that you can glue all these together. You can, if you've got, so where is it? Let me see if I can find it. If you've got these, then this makes your job so much easier, because when you want to bring your sides and your front pieces together to glue those edges, you can bring that in, bring that right up to it. Can you see? I know I'm a little bit wonky, but you sort of get the idea. And it's going to hold in there for you until it goes off. So that's always a good way to do it as well. So these are brilliant little tools. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way. So let me find my white piece of paper. Just going to bring this in, and I'm just going to cut these. It's just a 12 by 12. It's a 200 GSM. And I'm just going to cut 1-inch strips. So let me just cut 3 or 4 of these. So you don't want a high GSM when you're going to be doing what I'm going to be doing in a minute. So this 200 is absolutely perfect. I'm just going to bring my scoreboard in, and I just want to score halfway down this. It's card. It is, Gaz. I do hear it when I say it. I say it ever so Yorkshire, don't I? It's card. I do try to talk posh, but I don't think trying to talk posh and Yorkshire accent goes together really. So we're just going to have to deal with what we've got. So all I'm doing is I'm scoring these just down the middle, so just at 1/2 inch. Because what we're going to do with these is they're going to be, what's the word? I can't think of the word. They are going to be thingamabobs. That's its official word now. Right, so what we're going to do with these is we're going to put that half underneath there. We're going to bring this half here. Where's Hannah when I need her to tell me what word it is I'm trying to think of and I can't think of it? And then this is going to glue there. So it's going to keep them together. So let's trim this one down. Let's trim a couple down to 4 inches. So 1, 2 down to 4 inches. And then I'm going to trim 2 down to 8 inches because it's going to be the base sticking to the back and then the front as well. So I need 2 that are 8 inches long. And then I'm going to need 4 that are 5 inches long. So 1, 2, and then let's just trim another one of these off. So this is just, again, another way for me to show you how you can be creating even bigger creations You can really sort of go to town with these by using this. What is the word? Hinge. That's such a simple word. A hinge. Thank you, Gaz. So these are all hinges. Who'd have thought it would be so hard? Right. So I think, again, I'm popping them like this so you can sort of get the gist of where it's going to go. All my hinges, so my 4-inch ones, are going to attach there and there. Those 2 8-inch ones are going to attach there and there. And then when these sides come up, that is where those 5-inch ones will come into play, because they'll attach this to this. So once it's all stood up, we'll pop that hinge round there and we'll do it on all 4 sides. But before we do, we need to, I'm just going to fold these. We need to work on that front one first, because that is the one that has got the window cut out of the front, almost the TV screen, isn't it? So let's just get these folded. Oh, hello. Right, is it? I can't pronounce that. Q. So can someone spell that out for me? How I'm supposed to say it? Us Yorkshire girls need to stick together. Yes. Cupu. It's very pretty looking, and I'm ruining your name. I do apologise. Right, so pop these up here first. So this is my front piece. This is where we're going to coo and poo. Kopu? Or Kopu? Is it Kopu? Did I get it wrong? A Yorkshire lass can butcher anyone's beautiful name, can I just say? Right, so let me turn this over so it makes a little bit more sense without all of that drawing on it. I'm just looking for my square nestlings. Nice. Well, they're not square, they're rectangle. So all I did was I got my rectangle nesting dies out and I had a little bit of a play. Yeah, joining strips, that's just makes much more sense than thingamabobs, doesn't it? It's 8-inch wide, and I wanted to create the sort of the TV screen here, and then I wanted sort of something here that would create those sort of buttons. So I roughly I just had a bit of a play, popping it on there and seeing if I'm happy with the sizing. When you're happy with sort of what size that you've decided on, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one in. And this is where I'm going to create that little element on the side where I'm going to have a movable button. So you can turn your telly on and off. So once I've decided on sort of roughly the sizes, so this one is a 4 by just under 3. And then this one is 2 inches by 3 1/4. So let's just pop those there for now. So you can see I picked one that was 4 inches by 3 inches, and then one here is 2 by 3 1/2. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to find my pencil. And roughly, I mean, again, by all means, measure this so much better than me if you want to. But I'm roughly going to pop that there. And I'm just going to mark just with the pencil, not all the way round. You just need to put a few little pencil marks. And then bring in my ruler. Lol sounds like Kuipu for Kuipu. It's a Hawaiian name. See you later, Diane. Thank you for joining. Cooey poo. That is beautiful. You said it so much nicer than I did. And then all we're going to do is join these marks off until we've got that rectangle that we want. So there we go. So I'm quite happy with the placement of that. I'm just going to reach for my craft knife. It's mount board. I'm not going to run it through my machine. You can do if you've got some multimedia nesting dies, that will work. Hinge, I'm just as bad at getting the wrong words. Oh, it's a beautiful name. It is a beautiful name. And then all I'm going to do with my craft knife, I just want to get that nice and straight, is we're going to cut this out. So just go over it 2 or 3 times till you sort of feel that you've got through. Now, I know my blade's going a little bit blunt, so it might take me a few more to get all the way through. You don't need to worry if I go a little bit over because it is going to get covered up. We will get there. There we go. And then just it's always best if you're doing this to maybe put a fresh blade in first or keep a blade just for cutting your mount board. Right. I think I am all the way through. Look, just a little corner. So it takes a little bit of effort, but it's worth it once it's done. So that is it. So these are I'm all organised. These are my outside pieces. Those are my inside, so let me not lose. So on the outside of all of my TV, this is going to be my front piece. And then I've used this beautiful pattern that's going to go on the back and the sides and then the lid. So let's pop those there. So we're going to glue this down and then we'll you see, that's the other side. It's so different. So difficult to choose which side that I want to use. So let's bring in my glue. And then I'm just debating purely because when I put my hinges on, they're going to, if I put this on first and then put my hinge on, I mean, by all means, if you've got a lovely pretty hinge and it's on the outside, it really doesn't matter, but I want mine covered up. So what I need to do first is just attach a hinge to this side and this side. I will attach the bottom one as well and then can glue my paper on. So let's get these hinges on first. So just need to glue that one side for now. So I'm going to pop that on there. I'm going to turn it over. And like I always do, I'm going to lift that up because then I know it's nice and secure to that edge. Let's do the other side. 5-inch one. And then the base. You don't need one on the top. So just popping that over there. Squiggle that back into place. And because the mount board is that lovely white and my paper that my hinge making my hinges is lovely and white, when I pop this over the right way, you don't really see it. And then what did I say? The bottom one. So again, glue. And then pop this on the bottom. And then just give that a second. I'll just have a quick look at the comments while I'm holding onto this. Elizabeth, that's my craft name. I'm really Gwen in disguise. I was getting a lot of unwelcome emails from strangers. I have to go to work soon. Oh no, Gaz. So just making sure that that's nice and snug. So I'm quite happy. So then when I bring this in now, I can glue it down. If you don't want to leave as much as a border because you're using these hinges, then absolutely, you know, make mine. I've just gone down that. I think I just did the 1/8 of an inch, but you can absolutely cover it all the way up if you want. But once you get that on there, I don't see those at all. So now we can glue this down. Making sure that you've got the glue right up to the edges. And let's pop this on here. So I did the front in a different pattern to the rest. I wanted a less busy pattern on the front because of the extra sort of bits that I'm going to be popping on there. But I don't want to have a real busy pattern and then have extra stuff on top. But then you can get away with the busy pattern all the way around the rest. So I'm making sure that right up to here, we really embellish it. That word literally just fell out of my head. That work thing gets in the way all the time. It does, but apparently it's not paying the bills. I know. It should be free, shouldn't it? If you're a crafter, it should just be free. You shouldn't have to ever go to work. So let's give that a good burnish, a real good burnish. Right, so now what we're going to do is from each corner, right in the corner, we're just going to take our craft knife and we're just going to cut into the middle. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be straight, but it has to be right from the corner. So then what you get is you get that happening. So we don't need all that. So we're going to just cut away, just sort of, again, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just a rough square out of the middle. Because it's going to get covered up, so it doesn't really matter. So then this is what we've got, and this is where we're going to just bring this up. So I'm going to bring in my either your poker tool or your burnishing tool, and we're going to really just help and encourage it up and then over. So it needs to get right into that corner. So again, we're going to do exactly the same. We're just going to gently tease that paper up against that mount board. And so just all the way around doing exactly the same. There we go. And then we can tease them over. And then what you've got is you've got that lovely clean square on the front. Do not let me forget to put my acetate on. So what you've got is that. So now we just glue it down, but always remember to pop a little bit of glue right in there so your paper glues up and across. I can tell if there was any coming out then. On 4 sides. And then just give it a nice burnish. And when I do it, I'm going to tend to lift and hold from the middle, bring that piece down, and then go and flatten it side to side. Because if you do it from one side to the other, and it goes a little bit wonky, once it's glued down, it's not coming back up. So let's trim that just a little bit more because it's just a little wide. There we go. Look stuck. And then fold that one over. Give them a nice burnish. Run your spalling tool round those edges. And then just like this, just in here, run it along. And what it does, it gives it a beautiful square edge. There we go. So that's how you create that lovely little window. We're going to pop some acetate underneath. You don't have to. It could be vellum. You could leave it open if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. So let's pop those to the side now. Right. Pop that on there. And turn it over because what we're going to do is, these are my inside pieces, look. This one? That will, obviously we need to cut a square out, but that's going to cover all of that. I mean, to be honest, even if you wanted to just, completely close it up, it's entirely up to you. Right, so where is that? So this is why I use that particular die, because I know that if I go up to the next one, just try and find the next one. Is this it? I think it is. Is that a little bit too big? It is. Let me go back to that one. So I used the nesting dies because then I knew for the inside, I could get the next size up, run this through the machine. And because it is the next size up, it's going to sit on the back absolutely perfectly. But you really do need to measure this quite well. So turn that over. Where's my pencil? So I'm going to put a pencil line. I'm going to pick that back up. I'm going to make sure it's exactly where I want it to be. If I turn this back over and line it back up. Don't want it on that side, do I? Oh, do I? No, I'm not going to do it on that side because if I've gone a little bit higher this way than that way, that's going to sit wrong. So let me just find my eraser. I had about 10 earlier and now I don't have one. Here it is. So let's rub this out again. And we'll try that again. So what we're going to do, so we're going to turn that over and this paper is the side that I want to see. Is that right way off? Let's have a look. That way. So try that again. Let's bring that over. And it's this side that I want to draw that mark on. So now, following that, going in with the larger die. Yeah, the larger one. We're gonna die cut this out. So I'm just gonna bring this in, tape it in place. I actually think I might go for the next one off. Helps if I put the blade towards the paper, doesn't it? Let me have a look. No, I'm not. I mean, you go with what you sort of feel, depending on sort of the increments that your nesting dies go up in. And it also depends on how neat that you've made this. I mean, mine's quite neat, so it's gonna fit lovely that next size up. But if I go for a bigger die, so if I go for a bigger die, what's going to happen is if I use that die to cut out here, you can see that you're going to be able to see my corners, sort of those messy corners. So you don't want to go too big on this bit. Right, so let's run this through. I mean, again, if you don't have any dies, you don't have the nesting dies that you're using for this, you can just cut this out with your ruler and your craft knife. You don't have to go in with the dies. So let's pop this away. And then bring this in and look at that. I'm really quite impressed with myself there. Where are those dies from? These ones that I'm using are Chloe's creative cards. She has got, I think we were talking about this the other day, lots and lots and lots of nesting dies in lots of different shapes. And they go up to an 8x8. Obviously, this isn't 8x8. I think we discussed it's an 8x7, but they're huge and they're amazing. And I love them. So these are the ones that I've got. So I've got the huge, I've got the circle, I've got the oval, I've got fancy ovals, I've got tape stuck on everything. The 8x8 squares, fancy circles, or fancy rectangles, and then fancy squares. So lots. And they're just amazing. There we go. Right, just throwing everything on the floor as usual. So now I can glue this on. How long does it take to get your kits to the USA? So it was a little the company I was using was taking too long, and I think it's I don't know, is Ben watching? Ben, if you're watching, how long is it's roughly, I think it's 8 to 11 days, or it's not even opening. It's roughly around, I think, between 8 and 11 days it's supposed to take for my kits to get there. But the last time I sent some of you guys got them a little bit earlier, and some with the local post. It was with your local post office an extra day. And unfortunately, once it hits your local sort of delivery people, it's a little bit out of my hands, but it's not supposed to be any longer than the 11 days. Now, there is a quicker one, but it's a little bit more expensive, as always. But yeah, roughly, I think it's the 8 to 11 7 to 9. Look, I can't get nothing wrong. Right. I can't even get saying I can't get nothing right wrong. um, yes, I like the biggest dies. Awesome. The biggest die is probably 4 to 5. Yeah, these are amazing. Yeah, 7 to 9 days. Thank you, Ben. It's always to my rescue. So look how neat that looks now on the inside. It is, I know it's only a gift box and you don't necessarily have to have it so neat, but it's going to be one of them gift boxes that you're going to use. You're going to look inside and it's going to be amazing. So you want it to be as nice and as neat as possible. Mm. Oh, I forgot to put it on. Let me see if I can peel off. Wait, oh, I can. Look at that. That's the best thing about using this, isn't it? That you can forget, peel it up 2 minutes later, and you can stick whatever it is that you forgot about. Right, I'm going to bring in my red liner for this, or your, let me find my 6mm one. Let's go. So whenever I'm gluing acetate down, it's either red liner or, oh, anyone else watching this while Tropical Storm Debbie rages? Well, I hope that everyone is nice and safe. So yes, the red liner or your tape pen, one of your tape pens. So I'm going to put this red liner right up to the edge. You could also make this window into a shaker element if you wanted. You could make it into a photo frame. So popping the acetate over the front, and then what you could do is add a backdrop with some foam, foam tape, foam on a roll, and then what you've got then is the ability to put a photo frame in, and you can see it through the front. A photo frame, not a photo, sorry. So let's make sure those are nice and stuffed. Those are right. Last one. Here we go. Let me trim this down just a little because that's quite large. There we go. And then now what we can do is I'm going to just use tape pen over the top to stick to my paper. And then we'll add more glue to this. Wish the US would sell Kalal glue. Can you not get it over there? Oh, it is. It's brilliant. I wondered if I can find an equivalent. Have you that you can get in the US? And maybe have to have a look at that, see if there's an equivalent. Right, so let's try this again. There we go. I had the acetate right there, and I was looking at it while I was talking and gluing this piece down. But Kalal glue saves the day again. There we go. So I've got my acetate TV screen on the front, and then I used to buy them from CC, not anymore. CC stopped doing it. Right, so let's tidy this up a little bit, just so I can bring my other pieces in. So that is my front, and that is the flap that's going to go underneath the bottom. This is the back, so we're going to add another one to there. So let's bring in a hinge. See, I know what it's called. And I'm going to add all of these hinges before I add the paper to the outside. But I can add the paper to the inside first. That's not a problem. So literally just going to be gluing all of these up now. So you can get sort of some construction tape as well that you can use instead of using these pieces of paper as hinges. But the only ones that I've seen are coming in black. So unless you're going to be covering it up, it's not really going to work. And it's just as easy to do it with this paper. And cheaper as well, because it does exactly the same job. So I'm going to pop this on here. So when this is my base, when you are popping your sides on, decide if this piece is going to go next to here or if it's going to go on top. Does that make sense? So do I want to glue this and then have this mount board sitting on top? Or do I want to glue it where the mount board is sitting next to it? Now, for me, if I want to keep the size of the 4x8, I'm going to glue this down so it's sitting next to it. So I'm going to bring this piece up and I'm going to push this piece here. And it's going to sit next to it. Okay. So I'm going to let that just drop a second because I just need to push that up a little bit. And now when I bring this here, it's sat next to it. This is next to the base. So I can let that drop again now and I can pop my inside paper on. So let's bring these in. So this is my back piece. We're going to glue that on. It's one of those patterns that I'm not really sure which is up and which is down. So I'll pop that on there. The writing on the other side is this way up, so I'm assuming that that is the right way. Let's just give that a good burnish. So these side pieces, I think before I pop them on, just give that a real good burnish there. We will we'll get all the inside pieces popped on first. So that's going to go there and that one there. So when you break this down, there's lots of different elements, lots of pieces to cut out, but it's not a difficult thing to make. It's just another one of those that takes a little while. But if you don't mind that, I think it's very much like advent calendars, isn't it? If you don't mind something that takes a little bit of a little bit of a while. Does that sound right? A little while. That sounds so much better, doesn't it? If you don't mind doing those projects that take a little while but so worth it when you've done, then that is definitely this. So just straightening that off. So that one's going to go there. And then I've got my two sides. That's for the, that is for the bottom. Is that one for the bottom? And that one's for the top, isn't it? It is. So let's get that glued on as well. Did you just hear me talking to myself? Is it just me? In the craft room, am I the only person that talks out loud to themselves? I do sometimes distress. I think it depends on what I'm doing. I definitely do. Sometimes I distress, sometimes I will ink and things like that. Especially if I'm doing a tutorial like this, though, maybe not, because this is going to take quite a while for me to show you anyway. And I can't mat and layer things for this. You need to see it right from the beginning. So I haven't done that for this one because it's going to take me way too long. But yeah, absolutely. I love a white car. I actually love a white car for a totally different reason. I like to distress and I like to see that white car come through. I think it's just really, really pretty. But again, a lot of people don't like a white car. And it's just another personal preference thing, isn't it? Right, so let's pop this one on here. And again, I'm going to do it. I'm going to butt that right up. I'm going to stand this one up and then I'm going to butt that right up because I want it to sit next to it. So let's get the glue on. So the hub is just coming. Right, I'll tell you in a second. Right, so let's get that lined up. And then I'm going to lift this one up. And I'm going to push this one next to it. Oh, Ben's just tried to comment. Apparently his comments aren't coming up. Craft Stash US apparently sell Kalal glue. So have a look there. Craft Stash US. Kalal glue. Is it Kalal all purpose though? .us. I always forget that Craft Stashers have the US site. So I'm just holding it now. I'm just letting it grab, letting it go off. Pushing this next to it, not on top of it. And now that's nice and secure, I can let it go and give it a good burnish. Because when I bring these two up now, they're sitting next to my base piece, which means my box is going to be a true 4x8 rather than that tiny little bit smaller, because the size of these two pieces of mount board together would roughly add up to, let's put two together and see, 1/8 of an inch. So then that means if you've got something specific to put in there, it's going to be 1/8 of an inch smaller both ways. So that's always worth considering when you are creating something like this. So let's bring in the rest of these, because that needs to go under there and that one to this side. Obviously the right way round. So I'll glue both of these pieces and then we can pop that under there. And then I can pop this on the top. And remember, I want that to stand right next to it. And I've got enough glue on there that it's going to squeeze up that little side and really make it really secure. So you just need to hold that for a second. Just concentrating while my glue just takes. So if I hold this here now and let that drop, it shouldn't move at all. So let's just give it, right, let it drop. Because this actually now is where, if you want to make sure that there's glue just on the bottom of there to glue next to that piece of mount board, you can come in with either your fine tip applicator to make sure that there's plenty of glue on there, or you can come back in with that one. But once it's up and once you've got those hinges holding all, you can't see that, let me move that hand, all the way round, that's going to keep it perfect and nice and safe and secure. So when I'm creating some of my really big pieces, so if you've seen some of my other creations that I did before I got with Crafters Companion, so I've got like some huge units that I made. This is how I put those together, because it's just the easiest way to use these paper strips as hinges. It means you can really go to town on lots of different sort of little cubby holes, little boxes, little doors opening and closing. If you want to create a big unit and it's got 2 doors on the front that open and close, you can use that hinge to do that. Because once you've covered the hinge off with your paper, it just looks like a hinge, a normal hinge on a door. So it's incredibly warm in here. So it's just taken me an extra minute or two just to make sure that this is really, really sticking. So you can see it's very much like an exploding box with the way that it's all laid out. The only other thing that I need to do now is we're going to put those 2 hinges on there, and then we can bring it all together. So let's bring these 2 first. So I'm going to glue these 2 pieces first, and we can start popping this together. So let's bring that up and that, making sure that they're sat next to the base. Bring that round and just turn that a little bit so I can see. Here we go. And then just give that a second to grab. If you've got some little pegs, you could just peg the top if you wanted, but you don't need to. Just need to make sure that it's just all buttered up really well. Just pulled it off. I'm not heavy-handed at all, am I? There we go. Let me turn this round, and I'm going to pop my glue up and down there. Bring this up. We're going to push that together. And then I'm just going to hold that for a second. Love making my own hinges. They're sturdy and beautiful finished look. Yeah. Great ideas, and happy you suggested it for this project. I think when you're doing a bigger project like this, I think it just makes more sense to use these kind of hinges. Just let me, so I'm going to lift that off so I can get more pressure on that piece of paper to burnish it. And I'm going to do the same on this one. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to trim just that corner away because it was a little bulky. So let me bring that back over. That one is as well. So if you want to mitre your corners first, then absolutely do that. But you just have to be careful. There we go. So that's coming together lovely. So let's turn that round, because then all we need to do is bring this back off. And again, using these hinges. Oh, I've got all sorts stuck to me. You're just going to spread that out just a little. Bear with me. So the big lump in there of glue. So I'm going to pop that one under there. In fact, what I'm going to do before I actually do is trim that corner away and then pop it underneath. And so I can bring that up now. And making sure that this is pushed right, your two pieces of mount board are meeting perfectly. So I'm going to tick that off. And again, it just allows me to get in there and give it a real good burnish. And the same, bring it over that way. Give it a good burnish down. And then all I need to do now is add this next one. Let's trim smite those two bottom pieces. Can't get it. There we go. And then again, just glue it. So it's quite nice and simple. I don't know. I think it's one of them things that it's only simple once you know how. So just you can lean that down now. You get pressure on there and that side as well. Making sure that your bottom's buttered up nice and well. All your sides are. Let's bring it that way. This project just involves lots of burnishing and sticking. What comes together, mighty your corner. Yes. Thank you. There we go. So trim that one away because I didn't mitre that one, which I should have done. So you've got the most amazing sturdy box now. You've got those corners really supported by those hinges, even though it's all glued together. You've got so much support going on there that once that's all dried and gone off, nothing is moving. And then, so now what I can do is, so that's the front, I can go in now and I can add my pattern paper to the sides because I've got nothing else that's to go on there. So there we go. So I'm going to pop that on there. Just push that in a little bit more. There we go. Oh. So for this one, I know I say every time I do a live, I'm going to give something away. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some of I'm just deciding if I've cut that a little bit too small or not. Well, let me take that off. So I'm going to give some of the papers away. I'm going to pop. Sorry. Sorry. So for everyone who comments, we're going to pick your name. Ben's going to go through the end. He does a little swipey thing. He stops and he picks someone. So for everyone who comments, you're going to get the chance to win something. And for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the papers together because it's such a huge project. So I'm going to put some of the papers together and that's going to be a little prize. So obviously commenting, things like that, you're going to get a chance to win. So I'm just looking for where I've put my papers. There they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that one in. Purely because, and I'll show you why I'm going to do it. I've trimmed mine down a little bit too much. So I want it a little bit bigger. So literally that's the only reason we're going to do that. So this is 3 3/4. It's 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to cut this one down to, let's put it down to that 5 inches high, see what that does. Yeah, it's still giving me a little border. So 5 by 4, put some of those. And then bring this back in. Let's mat and layer that up. So it's going to give me a little border around the edge. And then when we pop that on there, I'm more happy with that. So can you remember me saying, even though the base is going to be the true 4 by 8, because my sides are now sitting to either side, it's just made it a little bit bigger. So was that glued? Because there was still glue on there, wasn't there? It has. Let's give that a good burnish. You make the most amazing projects. Thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate that. I do enjoy it though. I don't know if it's the trying to figure out dimensions and things like that. I never thought I'd enjoy a little bit of maths, I've got to say. But sometimes when I'm putting something like this together, I don't mind that little bit of maths. Probably because it's just a little bit of maths. It's nothing more than that. I enjoy the building. I enjoy the construction. I enjoy when you've got all those little bits of paper all cut up or not cut up, and then you cut them up and you pop them together and you can create something fabulous like this. I enjoy that process. I think it's the same with cards though, isn't it? I think we've got a card blank and a few pieces of paper, flowers, ribbon, whatever it is. And then once you've popped it all together and you sit back and look at it, it's just awesome, isn't it? Such this great sense of satisfaction. And then especially when someone says, when you gift it to someone and they say, I can't believe you made this. This is amazing. It's just lovely, isn't it? Right, so just, I was going to say apologies if you can't see, but I think you can really, can't you? Pop that way and I can give it a good burnish. I never thought to do it on that side. Let's do it that side as well. So I can use the desk to sort of burnish it in. Oh yeah, I love giveaways. Me. Oh, that's better. And that one. And I do love a good giveaway. Sometimes it will be a project, sometimes it will be some papers. We'll mix it up a little bit each time we do it. I think it makes it a little bit more fun, doesn't it? And then back piece. So I think I'm happy with actually the size of that. If you've cut a piece of paper down and actually it's too small, what you can do, and you haven't got another bigger piece to sort of cover it up or anything, bring it to one side or the other. And then what you can do is just trim a strip. I mean, this is quite wide. So let me trim just maybe an inch or a half, something like that. Just trim a lovely strip down. And then when you pop it on the edge and it goes right up to the edge, it still looks absolutely lovely. So if you've cut a piece of paper down and you've cut it down too small, add a strip to the end and it doesn't look like it shouldn't be. It still looks actually. Shall we do that? Let's glue that on and we'll add that strip to the back. And then you can see it sort of finished rather than me holding it on. So let's just glue all that. So left or right, top or bottom, it works all ways. So let me just, so let's give that just a good burnish. I love a giveaway, but I am usually too busy watching to comment. You know, that's normally me. That's normally me. And then I make a comment and then I think to myself, do they think I've commented just so I get a chance to win? Why wouldn't you? So giving it a good burnish. Let's trim this down because we know that's 5 inches high, don't we? Go. So if I pour that on there, it doesn't look like it shouldn't be. It doesn't look like you've accidentally cut your piece of card or paper down and you've had to add something. It just looks lovely. So that's just a tiny little bit too long. Let me just trim a tiny slither off that. There we go, that's better. So it looks lovely, doesn't it? It just, I think there's always a way to get around something. We always joke about a butterfly will cover, you know, an ink splodge or a thumbprint, but you know, you can get away with it by doing things like that as well. So far, so good. We've got the lid, so let's get on with the lid. Where are they are? So these are my 2 pieces for the lid. So this one is going to be bigger. So if I bring it round, you can see it's got that lip round all the sides. So we've got 8 by 5, and this is 8.5 by, sorry, 8 by 4. 8 by 4, and this is 8.5 by 4.5. So what that's going to do, it's going to sit lovely just on top. But to stop it from sliding off, we're going to include one of these on it. So when we pop that down, you can just see, can't you? It's going to be smaller because what's going to happen, that's going to be able to sit in there. Bring that over. But because you've got the lid, you can lift it on and off. And what it also means is this isn't going to slide on and off. It's almost like a stopper. So let's glue these 2 together. I've got notes all over my mount board, look. Cut a tad smaller than 4 8 by 8 to fit. Cut a tad smaller. So this really needs to be really central. So just making sure it's lovely and straight. And then, did I have this piece for that? I did. And then, was this the outside? Oh, do you know what? Let me have a look, 1 second. That is that piece. What was that piece for then? Do we know? Do we not know? I'm not sure. Maybe I just cut an extra piece. So that bit is going to go on that smaller piece, and there's just a tiny little bit of a border around. Here we go. I'm going to make this. I love construction projects. I'm glad you figure out the dimensions. It blows my mind. It well, that's it, isn't it? I love doing this, but what I love sharing because I love to share. It's as simple as that. I love you all to be able to see these projects and recreate them yourselves. And if I do all the hard work of figuring out dimensions and things like that, then you just get to do the best bit, which is just create it. So that's the top. So that was what the extra piece was for. I've got that black mat under there, and then I've got that lovely just layer on top. So this is where you could have just a normal matten layer of plain paper or card underneath. I think we forget sometimes that actually a pattern paper matten layered on top of a pattern paper looks really quite fabulous. And if you don't want to use all that pattern paper because you don't want it to get covered up, you can absolutely gut it. So what I mean by gut it is just cut the middle out. So when you mat and layer over the top, you still see that beautiful paper, but you've got an extra piece that you've cut out that you can use for something else. We're nothing if not frugal. So thank you, Ben, for the Kalal tip. I did, I asked if it was the multi-purpose. He says he wasn't sure, just that he'd seen that they do Kalal. So I always forget there's a Craft Stash US. So that's always good to know, isn't it? So just giving it all a nice, good burnish. Now, when I bring this in, can you see how it's not going anywhere? It just sits in perfect. You've got that lip all the way round the edges, and then you can just take it on and off. Now, the original box that I created, I had two sort of strips of card that was magnetized here, so I could lift it up like that. But I wasn't a fan of it because when you lifted it up, you had sort of either from here two pieces of sort of card just flapping about, or from the lid. So I thought this one would do it this way. So I've got no extra pieces down the side. I've got a real streamline box this time. Right, so let's take the lid off. And then we will bring in this, because there's just a few things left really to do. We've got the antenna on the top, we've got some feet, and I've got my button. So for creating the antenna that was on my other one, we just bring in these bits. So I die cut out lots of circles. And the way that I decided on what size was the, I don't know, is it the diameter of a circle? Because this is roughly, what did I say it was? 4.5 inches. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to be bigger than that. So I just picked a circle die that was no wider than about 3 inches. Cut lots of circles out, and then I just cut them in half. So to cut them in half, you just fold them in half and then just cut down that fold line. And then you've got the half slices, I'm going to call them, the half circles, and then you just fold them in half. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to glue them all together. So depending on how full you want your circle will obviously will be the decider for how many of these you put together. Honest, the English language sometimes. It's funny, it was only today that my husband said you really need to go to the doctors and get that blood test done. Not to see if I'm crazy, to see if I'm menopausal. I'm pretty sure I am. No one has brain fog like this, and there's not either a baby, and I'm not way too old for that, or you're in the menopause. So all I'm doing is just gluing one half of that, sticking it to the other one, and then what I'm doing is I'm tapping it on here to make sure that they're all level at the bottom. And then I'm going to bring it to that side to make sure that they're all level there as well. So I'm getting lovely, all the same sort of placement. no wonky circles. And then, so when you've done so many, open it back up. I've just got a little bit of glue seepage, but that's all right. Open it back up, and if you're happy, let me pop it on that one with the fullness, then finish gluing them together. I just want to add a couple more, purely because I think it just looks so lovely when there's a lot on there. So again, stick that to the next one and then tap it on there just to make sure that they're all nice and level. We'll add this last one. And then, here we go. And then we'll glue that final piece and bring it all the way around. And then we can fluff this out. Just can't quite grab them. There we go. And if I pop that there, just need to a little bit of zhuzhing to make sure that you're quite happy with it. But you can see, so it's just all those half circles. This is going to pop on here now. So it's entirely up to you how you pop it on here. I'm just going to put a splodge of hot glue just in the bottom there, and then just stick it down, and that should. I'm not going to yet because my glue gun's not turned on. So what I'm going to plugged it in, but it's to the extension, but it's not plugged in at the wall, of course. So next alternative, which is absolutely brilliant, you just have to wait a little longer, obviously, for it to dry, is this. And I love, so this sticks to anything, is brilliant because it never dries out for me. So let me put a blob of that on there. So this is my version of the old-fashioned antennas. I love it. It never ever dries out. You put that lid back on and it doesn't dry out. I've had some in the past that dry out so quickly, but I love that one. So if I lift it to the side, you can see it looks quite pretty, doesn't it? 4 pieces of paper. Decide how, I'll turn it to the side, how long you want your antenna. I've done mine 4 inches long and they're just a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm going to glue 2 of these together just for added stability. And then glue these 2. Now, the only thing I haven't got out is some of my brads. So some brads are some split pins. Let me see if I can find them. I've got all my bits right up in front of me, all my little boxes of everything, really. I don't think there's much up there that I haven't got. Just trying to find them. 4 circles. Again, I've done 2 because what we're going to do is we're going to pop one on one side and one on the other. And then it just hides the end. If you pop just one on one side, then you've got, just doesn't look as neat. So glue that one. So again, all very simple things, lots of nice and simple shapes that we've cut out and things like that. But just popping them all together, you get created a lovely little retro TV. And the papers, I mean, I knew when I was cutting them out that they was going to look lovely, but they look so much nicer than thought they was going to. So pop that in there. Next one on top. There we go. And just give that a burnish. So I'm just like, bear with me. Brads. Where are my brads? They're probably right at the bottom where I can't find. Oh, I can see them. Right. I'm just going to grab these. If you hear a crash and a bang, it's me. Oh, I got them. I didn't drop nothing for a change. Right, so let's find. Actually, I've stuck that down. Maybe I should have waited. Because of the way this is, you can use a flat brad, you can use one with a dome on the end. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to interfere because this isn't opening and closing. What's going to happen is we're going to pop a brad through here onto one of these. So probably pick this one. And because I've attached it to a brad, what you're going to have then is the moving antenna, like on the old TVs. So I'm going to use a couple of silver ones because they'll work perfect with this collection, if I can. Actually, that one's got a lovely little white pearl on the end. I'll use that one. So I know I've stuck mine down and it doesn't really matter because I've used that silicone. So I'm going to pick it back up. So all I'm going to do is just with my poker tool in the middle of one of these, just watching my finger. Let me bring in that. So if you do it onto your stamping mat, so you're not scared about popping it through and hitting your finger. So let's bring that back in again. So all I'm doing is I'm creating that hole for my brad to go through. Make sure it's nice, wide enough for this. Pop it in. And open that up. And then what you've got is that movable antenna. So roughly on the other side, round about the same sort of distance. Let's pop this one. So again, just going through with my poker tool. Let's bring in that brad. Oh, there we go. And there. So if I stick that back down into my glue, what you've got now is those two movable antenna, which again, I just thought was just a little bit of fun. So if I turn that there, you can see that you've got your antenna on top. So I'm going to take that off because what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this in. So can you remember the way that we created that hole in the front? That's all I've done here. So I've got two pieces of card, just normal 300 GSM card, and I cut them down. So I cut two rectangles to 2¼ by 3½. So just two rectangles of plain white card down to 2¼ by the 3½. And again, that's a rough sort of size. And then I just used one of my nesting dies just to cut a frame. And then I've just wrapped that pattern paper around it. So I've got a lovely little panel just for the front of my card box even. And then here. So you're going to want a piece of card or thick paper. So it's going to be 4 inches wide by, I think I did it 3/4. So a piece of card, 4 inches wide by 3/4 of an inch. You're going to score at 1 inch. You're going to score at 1½. You're going to score at 2½, and you're going to score at 3 inches. And then what you've got, and move that up, is this. Can you see? So 1 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 3 inches. Because what we're going to do is that's going to come together like this. So I'm going to pop some glue in here. And those 2.5 inches are going to come up, stick together. And what you've got is like a table. Jane Gibson, I will share the stuff I made recently after watching your lives. I've done pinwheel, the card with the Japanese papers, don't know what it's called, and the exploding box with acetate home. That's brilliant. Definitely share them. Absolutely. I love to see everything that you've made. Right, so you can see now I've got this table with these 2 legs. You're going to bring those back on themselves. Just holding that for an extra second just to have to go and make dinner. We'll finish watching later. Well, enjoy dinner. And thank you for joining me. So what you've got now is you've got those 2 legs and you've got it glued almost like a table, because what's going to happen is these 2 pieces. So I'm going to bring in my 2 pieces of paper that I've just cut out. They are both 1 inch wide. So that's 1 inch and that's 1 inch. And then they're 3 1/4 inch high. And that was just purely based on, bear with me, that sizing. So it's going to sit over it. So what we're going to do is these 2 pieces are going to get glued down here. Okay, and I love the way that I've got sort of that continuing pattern. Now this is going to sit underneath it. So when you glue these down, you're going to put a tiny strip of glue across the top, down the side, and across the bottom. So I am going to use this because it's going to give me the ability to be a lot more precise. So just across the top and bottom, and then that outside piece. You don't want no glue anywhere else. And I'm going to pop that down. And I'm just going to bring this in to make sure I'm quite happy with the placement. And I am. Because one of these legs is going to sit underneath there. Okay, like that. I'm going to bring it back out a second because I just want that to dry. Now, my legs are 1 inch long. They're a little bit too long. They're going to catch on the sides. I'm going to trim them down just a little bit. So maybe 1/4 inch, I'm going to trim off both sides. Okay, so you've still got that shape. I've just trimmed those legs. And then we're going to bring in this other piece, and that's going to go here. But what you're going to do is you're going to leave 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch in between popping that down. So you need a channel in the middle that this is going to be able to slide up and slide down. So if I bring that in, you're going to tuck this bottom leg. This bottom leg is going to tuck underneath there. And you're going to push it across as far as you can. And then when we bring this one in and glue this one down, just going to hold it for a minute. What you've got is this is going to move up and down. So let's, again, you're going to glue across the top, down the outside, and across the bottom. I'm just going to turn this round so I can, and then it's going to tuck in between. Can you see? Can you see how it's tucked? It's going to tuck in between. So that leg is going to go underneath that. And so remember, we've just glued across the top, down the side, and across the bottom there. And we've done the same on this piece. You're going to glue just a strip across there, up the side, and across the top. And you're going to leave that channel in the middle. because that is what's going to allow us to do this. So that is my little on-off switch, or whatever you want to call it, on the front of your TV. And then that's what this frame is for, because I just thought it's going to frame it and tidy it up really nice and lovely. So we're going to pop that over. So what I'm going to do is, you can either glue it flat, you can put some foam on it. I'm going to raise it just a little with some foam. So let's cut some strips. So popping that across there. And down that side. Oops. No. Take those off, and then just one across the bottom and top. We don't need to make sure there's no spaces in between these foam pads, because we're not making a shaker element. So as long as there's enough there to stop any sort of bowing in the middle or anything like that, which you're probably not going to get, because I've got 2 pieces of 300 GSM card in there, and then I've wrapped it with a piece of that pattern paper. I'm back. Are you back? Are you at work now, Gaz? Actually, I know I haven't put glue on the other sides of these, which I should have done, but we'll pop it on this side. And remember, keep holding my glue really close to me to glue things, and you're not seeing what I'm doing at all, are you? I'm just gluing those, so you're not missing anything too exciting. So then we're just going to pop that on there, and we've still got now that ability to move that up and down. I'm going to decide what I'm going to pop on there. You could, if you've got a button, if you've got, just some of this pattern paper cut off, it's entirely up to you. Let me find. We'll not use a button. I'm not using a butterfly. It's never going to happen. I don't know. I don't know what I want on there. I really haven't decided. It needs to be something else so you can hold it and move it. So if you've got a button, or you've got one of these lovely little fluffy things, as long as it's glued really well to this, you can sort of be moving it up and down. But I'm just going to leave that for a second because I can't decide. But that's the front. So that's my lovely movable up and down button. This is the antenna on top with the movable pieces. So it's coming together lovely. The only other thing we want to do is the feet. We need to pop some feet on there. So what I've got, let's pop that up there. 2 pieces for each leg. You're going to need 2 pieces of card. I want my hot glue gun, so I'm going to turn it on. Oh, there we go. I do want my hot glue gun for this. So you're going to have 2 feet at the front and 2 at the back. So all in all, you're going to need 8 pieces of mount board, and we are 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Now with my pencil, I'm just using my scoreboard. At 1/2 inch, I'm going to pop a pencil mark there. And then we're going to cut from that pencil mark to this corner. So we're going to trim that away. So nice and simple. We'll do the same with this one. Just at the bottom, at 1/2 inch, we're going to put that little pencil mark and we're going to cut up. And then what you've got is those 2 pieces like that. You get rid of that pencil line. And then all we're going to do with these, you're going to turn them back to back, and you're going to glue them at a right angle. Okay. So let me just bring in this, and I've just put a strip of glue on my hand or on here, and I'm just going to dab that edge into it. So when I pop it on there, There's not too much glue, so I ain't got lots spilling out anywhere, just enough to allow it to grab. And then you've got a lovely right angle foot for your telly. And again, I just thought it really lent to the retro TV, sort of this shape foot, leg. So I'm just going to hold that for a second. Are you at work? Handcrafted bag has two. Oh, is that your work one? So I'm just going to pop that down for a second because I've got a couple more that I've already done. There we go. So I've got two I've already done. So you can see you've just got that lovely right angle. This one's already dry. I've just got, again, I've just cut. It's 4 inches by 1.25 inches because this is 1.5 inches. And we're just going to wrap this around. So I'm going to fold it in half. And we're going to add glue. I'm going to make sure I've got glue right in that crease. I'm doing it again. I'm holding it here and you cannot see what I'm doing, can you? So just glue all over that. And we're going to pop that corner on first. Make sure you've got it nice and straight. And when I've got it on there, I'm going to hold it like this and I'm going to pull these two pieces. So not pull per se, but just give it a little bit of tension because it pulls this really nice and tight on that corner. So just with my thumb, I'm just sort of pulling it down and it just makes it nice and tight. And then we're going to snip top corner away. So I've just got like, it's about 1 centimetre because we're going to wrap it round. And if you don't cut that wedge down, when you wrap it round, it's going to wrap round and over. So it's going to come up. I'll show you on the next one what I mean. I think you know what I mean though, don't you? I'm so glad it's not just me with the butterflies. That what is it with all these blooming butterflies? Do you know what? My first collection, the butterflies were beautiful, but I'm not a butterfly fan. So at some point for me, it was like, no more butterflies. Again, what I'm going to do, glue right in that corner. And we're going to pop it on here. Now I'm quite conscious that I've just glued this one, so I'm going to be very careful. So I'm going to pop it right in the middle and I'm just going to gently pull. I'm going to hold the mount board, but I'm just going to pull that paper. So what it does, it creates a real clean and perfect edge on this. So if I wrap that round now, can you see how it comes over? So that's why we just need to take a little bit of a wedge away at the top. And then I'm just going to straighten that up. And then I can just fold it over. Me neither. I don't find the odd one in the garden, but they are everywhere in craft supplies. Listen, if I go out in the garden, well, there's no butterflies to be seen. But if I go out in the garden, they just appear. Now, my husband was out there the other day and he wanted to show me something. And as soon as I stepped outside, these butterflies appeared from nowhere. So I obviously had to run away because, butterflies. So what I'm going to do now is, obviously these need to be a right angle. So just on here, just tease that round a little bit until it's in a right angle. which doesn't really matter because once we pop them on here, they're going to go exactly where we want them to go because we've got a little bit of give in these. So when we pop them on, we can just wiggle them into place perfectly. So I'm just checking my hot glue gun. Oh, it's getting there. So if we bring these in and I just hold them there, that is how they're going to go on. So nice and simple. Let's stand this up. And again, either just pop in a little bit of glue on your hand or on here, and then just tap that into the top. I'm going to use this on my hand as well, and that. And we're going to pop it on here, and I can sort of manipulate it just enough that it's going to sit right in that corner. And then we're going to do the same with all four. I might as well use that glue up on my hand. So you can see that that one's opened up a little bit, but when I pop it on here, and I'm just going to follow the line of the box face. I'm just going to hold it a second. It's tacky glue, so it tends to go off a lot quicker than the Kalal. And just as you move it about, you can see if it's in line or not. If it's not, wiggle it out just a little bit. Isn't that song, Wiggle It? Just a little bit. I promise you I wouldn't sing, I won't, I promise. Again, another sort of strip of glue. Tap it in it, because then it gives you just enough. And then pop it on there. And then last one. Pop it on there. And then if I turn that round, I'm not going to stand it on its feet yet, because it's obviously not dry, but you can see how beautiful that comes together. So I'm going to stand that up. So I've got my hot glue gun on because what I'm going to do is right in the corner. So right in the corner, I'm going to put a little blob of glue. And when your box is stood up, you don't see this at all. But what it does, it gives me, the confidence that when I stand this back up, it's not going anywhere at all. So tiny blob of glue that you can barely see right in the corner. Now you can bring it across a little bit if you want. You can bring it all the way if you want, because what you can use is the tip of your glue gun, almost like, what are those things called? You know, when you're sealing the bath and the kitchen sink, with that silicone stuff. It's almost like using one of those. I have no idea what they're called, but I'm sure you all probably know what I'm trying to think of. So just on all four sides. And then last one. There we go. Those strands will come off in a second. So you can see where I've put the hot glue just right down that seam where it joins the box, but you don't see it because it's been a nice big chunky foot. So as soon as I turn that round and stand it up, it's so secure. It really, really is. And then looking at it from all four sides, you don't see any of that. Unless someone picks it up and has a good look, but it's still really nice and neat in there anyway. So you see how it's just really, really secure. So the only other thing now is we're going to pop our lid on. In the original one that I made, I had an album in there, but this can just be a gift box. It can be a beautiful decorative piece for on your shelves at home if you want. The only other thing I need to decide on is what I want to pop on top of there. But can you see how much fun it is? You know, you've got this lovely gift box, you've got that button that moves on the front, you've got your antenna that, you know, it's because you've got these movable elements, it's tactile. People want to touch it, they want to look at it. So if you do craft fairs or anything like this, and you have this just as a centerpiece on your stall, what happens is people instantly want to come over and they want to have a look and they want to then, oh gosh, that's amazing. How did you do that? And then as soon as you've got these people over to your stall and you've got them talking about it, then they're more comfortable and then they want to buy something, or, you know, you can be discussing things. So it's a brilliant thing to have on any craft stall that you do. I used to have things like this on my craft stall because it gets people over to have a look because it's so different. And then, you know, I made these to order and people are happy to order and happy to wait for things like this. But besides that, even if you're just gifting it to someone, if it's someone's wedding or birthday and you just want to have some beautiful gifts in there, if you want it to be an album in there, you know, the options are just endless. But besides that, it's really annoying me because I can't think of what I want to put on it. I think on my last one I put a button, but I think what I'm going to do on this one is I think I might. So if I get one of the pieces of paper, I think what I'm going to do is it might actually be in the 6x6. There's some small balloons that I'm going to cut out. I think I'm going to cut one of them out. I'm going to find one that's a nice size to fit on there. In fact, look, they're all here, look, on this piece of paper. I'm going to cut one of those out. I'm going to mat and layer it onto a piece of card so it's nice and secure. So when I move it up and down, you've got a hot air balloon. You've got a hot air balloon going up into the air. Can you see that just clicked with me? So besides that, I'm all done. Just that button that I will pop on there or the hot air balloon later. Let me just move all these bits to the side so you can get a better look of just this. So let me take this off. You've got all those lovely corners, nice and neat, because we use those lovely pieces of paper and card. You've got your lovely, nice, safe and secure feet on there. You've got that lovely matte and layered pattern paper on pattern paper, those movable elements on top, and that just sits in there. And you've got that lovely retro TV. And what I love about this is the album that you put in there, you can have on the front of the album something that's going to fit perfectly. So if it's someone's name or, you know, the birth date or anything like that, it would sit there lovely. I just want to know how dragonflies got so popular. They look cute on paper. Oh, in person, they're not so cute. They're beautiful from far, far away. They're huge and pretty terrifying, to be fair. If it flies, except for birds, if it's sort of insecty and flies, I'm just, a little bit of a scaredy cat, can I just say? I'm not sure what time it is because I haven't got my watch on. Let's have a look. I've gone a little bit over, but I hope it was worth it just to finish that off. So I'm going to let you all go because obviously I've gone 20 minutes over. So you've really bared with me for a very long time. But obviously you can rewatch this. You can you can pause it at things, particular. Oh, you can see my camera. Wherever you need to pause me for. So, just giving Ben just a few more seconds to flick through those messages and pick someone for me, and then what I will do is I'll put a little thingy of these papers together, a little taster of papers as the prize. So yes, so thank you. That is just the cutest box, Michelle. Thank you very much, Debs. Sorry, Deb. No, not a fan of dragonflies. So Ben has just come in and he's just flicked through and he picked Jane Gibson. So, Mary Lou, stunning, love it. Thank you very much. So Jane Gibson, I'll get you some papers and that put together, and I will send you a little prize. If you've ordered from me, I've already got your address. I'm pretty sure you have, haven't you, Jane? But yes, so Jane is the winner. So congratulations, Jane. I will get you that prize put together and put out. You make the best things, Michelle. Thank you very much, Deb. I do try. I do try. I definitely have thought you had. I didn't want to presume that you had. So I'll get some bits sent out to you. Got glue and bits and bobs stuck all over me. A live next week. So I'm going to arrange a live, and that's going to be with regards to what are they called? Rice papers. Just going through a few basics, showing you how to use them, showing you what you can use them on, and we'll go through a few of the Mod Podgers as well, just to make you all a little bit more confident in using your rice papers. Or if you haven't used them yet, hopefully it will make you want some. So I'm just holding on one sec to make sure that I haven't got anything else that I haven't remembered to tell you. And I don't think I have. I think it was just the live that we're going to be doing next week. So I'll get some details up for that. I've got a lovely little, it's a coaster set, coasters that you put your tea and coffee on. I've got one of those and it's in MDF, and that I'm going to show you how to sort of decorate that up, because that's beautiful. And then again, there's a Mod Podge that once you've sealed it, it's heat proof. So you can gift it. People can put the hot tea and coffee on it, and it's going to be absolutely fine. So that's I'm quite looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So Elizabeth Baker Knight, all off to bed. Oh, I don't envy that. But good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Betty, I love this. You're a 3D genius. Thank you very much. I just love it. It's just a lot of fun, isn't it? And then when you see how easy it does come together, so I want to see everyone's retro TVs coming up in the next few weeks, where you've all had a bit of a go. Right, I will let you all get off. I will pop the details up when I've figured out a day. I'll pop the details up on my page, and we'll do a bit of a rice paper masterclass, which will be fun because I haven't done a masterclass for ever such a long time. So we will get that done. So thank you very much for joining me. As always, any questions, comments, anything, pop me a message on here, over on my Facebook page, anything like that, and I'll definitely get back to you all. Thank you so much, and I will, when I find my mouse, there we go, let you all get off. I'm going to go get my tea now, and I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.